Today we're going to talk about Uniform Child Support Order Deviation Addendum. One of our most popular videos is where we go over how to fill out a Uniform Child Support Order. That's probably because every judgment or order regarding a minor child requires a Uniform Child Support Order unless child support is specifically reserved. If there's going to be a deviation from the formula, or the parties are not going to follow the child support formula, then there needs to be specific findings in the Uniform Child Support Order Deviation Addendum indicating the reasons why they're not going to follow the formula. The court has to make specific findings anytime the court is not going to follow the Michigan child support formula. The Deviation Addendum is the place where those findings are made. So today we're going to go over how to fill out a Uniform Child Support Order Deviation Addendum, some of the reasons why families might deviate from the Michigan child support formula, and what a completed Uniform Child Support Order Deviation Addendum might look like. Alright, so here is the Uniform Child Support Order. We went through the Uniform Child Support Order before, but I wanted to just point out that every time you're going to do a Uniform Child Support Order deviation, you're also going to need to do a Uniform Child Support Order. We're also going to go over some similar terms, so I think it's important to be able to understand what the Uniform Child Support Order looks like. So not going to go over all of this. Please go watch our other video on the Uniform Child Support Order, but I wanted to point out that some of what it looks like so that we will have some of this information that we're going to be putting on the other form, the Uniform Child Support Order Deviation, will likely be coming from this. One thing is important to note is that the Uniform Child Support Order, the FOC 10, the one we're looking at right here, is the actual court order. The Deviation Addendum is just an add-on making certain findings. So this is the one that gets filled out, and then once that's signed by the judge, that is the one that's going to be enforced by the front of the court. That's your actual court order. So although we're going to talk about the Deviation Addendum, I want to make sure it's really clear that the FOC 10, or the Uniform Child Support Order, is the actual court order, and the Deviation Addendum is just additional findings. So whatever numbers are put in the FOC 10 or the Uniform Child Support Order is going to be what's actually going to be charged. Alright, so here is the Uniform Child Support Order Deviation Addendum. Going to be putting the same information as we did on the Uniform Child Support Order up here at the top. So you're going to have your judicial circuit for Genesee County. That's going to be 7th Judicial Circuit. You're going to be putting the county name here for us. That's Genesee. You're over here, you're going to put whatever your case number is. That's usually going to start with a year and then going to end with a suffix like DM, DP, DS, DC, or DZ. And then you're going to put the judge. Here you've got your court address and your court telephone number. And then we're carrying over the same information from the Uniform Child Support Order on the plaintiff name and the plaintiff's and the defendant's name. So here we're going to be specifying which paragraph number deviates from the child support formula. So remember, I showed you the Uniform Child Support Order. Each number of the Uniform Child Support Order has a number associated with it. Each paragraph has a number associated with it. So you're going to be able to go back to that child support order and you're going to be able to figure out which paragraph you've actually deviated from. Usually you're going to be deviating from the paragraph that involves this grid. So that's usually the number you're going to put in there. But sometimes families will deviate from the formula as it relates to health insurance or other provisions of the formula. So I think it's really important that you make sure you go back to your Uniform Child Support Order and specify. I'm not going to tell you what number to put there because it does depend on your individual case. The other thing is that Uniform Child Support Orders are updated from time to time. So don't get reliant on just whatever number was in there in the past. Make sure you're always using the most up-to-date Uniform Child Support Order and the most up-to-date Uniform Child Support Order Deviation Addendum. So this is what the Uniform Child Support Order Deviation Addendum is going to do. It's going to say that the child support obligation that would have been ordered by applying the Michigan child support formula is as follows. So remember, we said that the Uniform Child Support Order, the FOC 10, that's what's actually been ordered by the court. FOC 10D is saying what would have been ordered by if we had followed the Michigan child support formula. So following the child support formula, saying you put the information into the child support calculator, what information did it kick out? What's the payer, payee, the children's names, and the overnights that each of those children have with the parties. And again, we're going to be putting in what the formula would have told us to put in, not what was ordered, but what the formula would have told us to put in if we had followed the child support formula as it relates to base support, any premium adjustments for health insurance costs, ordinary medical, child care, or if there were any benefit credits. So again, we're going to be putting all of that in here for what it would be if we had followed the formula. Same thing down here on the uninsured health expenses. You're going to be able to gather all of this information from the Michigan Child Support Calculator if that's what you're using. The public calculator is available online, and if you use that calculator, it is going to provide you all of these numbers as it relates to what it would be pursuant to the formula, even if that's not what the parties agreed to. The other thing that you're going to have to fill out from what it would have been pursuant to the formula is the health care coverage. Like I said, sometimes that's something that families are going to deviate from is the health care coverage provision. So this is another situation why this is on here for you to specify what it would have been pursuant to the manual. Okay, now we're going to get into the other parts of the form. This is where a lot of families have the hardest part, is because we have to put in some language. So for this one right here, I'm actually going to show you what the deviation factors are in the Michigan Child Support Formula, because the first step here is applying the Michigan Child Support Formula is unjust or inappropriate because, and then this is a spot to specify the deviation factors relied on. All right, now we're looking at the 2021 Michigan Child Support Formula Manual. Section 1.04 says that talks about deviation from the formula. So it does provide courts the options to deviate from the formula guidelines when the court decides, and on a case-by-case basis, that deviating from the formula is going to be a more appropriate support amount. So this is the section that is going to outline all of the reasons why a court might deviate from the formula. One of the things that comes up a lot is 1.04c, which is agreements to deviate, which basically says that the law in Michigan allows the court to enter orders that deviate from the formula based on an agreement of parties as long as it satisfies the requirements of the law. So which really comes down to, did we make finding on the deviation factors? So here are the deviation factors that exist. One of these factors is the factor that you're going to want to put in the deviation addendum, and we're going to go back to that in just a minute. But so here are all your deviation factors, and you can find these on the State Court of Michigan's website to be able to find the Michigan Child Support Formula. It's also linked up on the Genesee County Front of the Court website, and then you'd be able to actually pull this up, the most up-to-date version of the child support formula, and see what the deviation factors are. The deviation factors do change from time to time, and the child support formula is updated every 4 years. So I'm not going to go through all these different deviation factors, but you can see there are quite a few of them. There's 20 different deviation factors that may be relevant for the reason why this family or this court is finding that they're going to deviate from the formula. And again, agreements to deviate is all right as long as we make the findings that we are deviating for a reason. Okay, so here's that information, and that's going to be relevant as we fill out the deviation addendum. All right, we're back to the deviation addendum. So now that you've seen what the specific factors that might be being relied on, you'll be able to enter those factors right here. So best way to do that is pulling the factors that are relevant for your family right from the Michigan Child Support Formula deviation factors that are listed, and then putting those in here. And then here in C, this paragraph is where you're going to say what how it deviates from the formula. So if the formula were to say that child support should be $800 a month and the parties have agreed to $200 a month, maybe they're going to say in this box it has deviated by reducing the base support amount by $600. And then, for example, up here, the reason might be that there is the parent who is the support payer takes care of the child during the day, and that reduces daycare costs. Just for as an example of what that might look like. And then this is the section where how that would create an unjust result. And again, just a brief description of what the change was and why that would create an unjust result. And that's going to be the language that can be put in here. There's also an option here for the value of property or other support awarded instead of the payment of child support. This isn't going to be common in every single case and isn't always going to come up, so this section does not need to be filled out. That's not required. And then here we have the signature spots for the plaintiff, defendant, plaintiff's attorney, defendant's attorney, and who prepared this uniform child support order. So it's pretty simple, actually, just two pages. A lot of the information, like I said, is going to be able to be pulled from the child support calculator. If you are using the Michigan child support calculator on the public calculator website, you'd be able to pull that information in and plug that in here. And then what you need to do to fill out these sections is figure out the reasons why you're deviating from the formula and then specify those deviation factors here. And then in C, you're going to indicate how the order that you are asking the court to enter is different from the amount that it would have been pursuant to the formula. The Michigan child support formula is available online, again, at our website at Genesee County Friend of the Court, gc4me.com, or it's available on the State Court Administrator's website and is updated every 4 years. Please make sure that you're using the most recent child support formula because it does get updated. The forms for the for the Uniform Child Support Order and the Uniform Child Support Order Deviation Addendum are also available on our website and also available on the Michigan Supreme Court State Court Administrative Office website. And so both of those places are great places to make sure that you're getting the most up-to-date form and using the most up-to-date formula. Anytime you are deviating from the guidelines, you need to fill out both the Uniform Child Support Order and the Uniform Child Support Order Deviation Addendum. If you've got more questions about how the child support program works, Friend of the Court forms, or any other information about the Friend of the Court, please feel free to reach out to the Genesee County Friend of the Court. As always, we're here to serve.